For Entrepreneurship 5000, we are Team 5. This is our business idea presentation. Our decision-making process was involved. We tried to think of what consumers would see as a problem, what we see as a problem, and we tried to consider solutions. We talked about the convenience for customers as well as the convenience on the business side to actually implement the business and to get everything started. We tried to utilize the concept of digging a well, where we focused on an issue that a small amount of people wanted a large amount instead of something that a large amount of people only want just a small amount. We tried not to shy away from overcrowded markets. We saw that as if the companies were already existed in an idea that we, thought up, then they're not doing something right. If the market is oversaturated, then there's too many options. Someone is missing something that the customers want. So these are a couple examples on the chart of ideas that didn't quite make it. In the top left corner are ideas that did make it. Andrew, do you want to touch on something that we passed on?
Yeah, one of the ones that we had passed on was the cap and gown rental service. And we just really came to the conclusion that it was not going to be economically feasible to run a business like that.
Our first idea is a high-end or designer clothing rental. This would target tourists primarily. It would be something that essentially you would review the clothing online beforehand, and then when you arrive at your destination, you would pick it up. So it would be great if we could be stationed in like airports or near airports. We would probably start in the US and then eventually move to Europe, where designer clothing is quite large. I picked some highly tourist cities. Customers would, just essentially, they would pay all the shipping charges. You could reduce inventory on hand by having them pre-order. And this would reduce the need to check your bags and to pay baggage fees. And essentially, it would just be convenient and allow them to experience the luxury of high-end clothing without having to fully commit to it and buy it and spend thousands of dollars on something they won't wear very often.
Our next idea was a personal concierge service with an automatic grocery delivery. These were two separate ideas, but we figured a way that we could tie them into each other. So with the personal concierge service, it would target like families or really anyone that's on the go always. And so for someone that's like constantly trying to book reservations to restaurants or constantly trying to go to plays or even go to Disneyland, there would be a personal concierge that would book everything out for them in advance, like book out their tickets, book out their shows, book out just everything in advance. And so all that the family would have to do was just show up and go. And so we incorporated this with an automatic grocery delivery service. And so this would also target those families, but maybe more for the working professionals or fitness focused individuals, where the personal concierge would basically just make sure that their food is always up to par in their house and that they never really have to go out and pick up groceries or anything like that, that they always have exactly what they want in their home. And then another idea that we had was a facial recognition slash fingerprint. We wanted to incorporate this software more into our day-to-day lives. And so for the facial recognition, like we thought that it would be cool to put it on like high-end cars. Like you would show up to your car, it would just scan your face and you could just get into the car and start it rather than having to have like a key or card or have to have your phone on you. Like the key to the car is yourself, which is really cool. And we also thought that it'd be cool to, you could incorporate the fingerprints into the cars, but we thought it'd be cool to incorporate more fingerprint software into like with our homes and stuff like that. So like when you show up to your house, like you just scan your finger and it opens the door and you can go in. Or like you could even scan your finger to your car and it would go in. And we figured that if this software is more incorporated, this can protect homes and reduce crime in certain areas.
Our next idea is event planning. So usually to plan an event, guests will usually have to find their own caterers, their own DJ, florists, decorators. So we've decided that it will be a good idea for a company to have all of these things included. So it will save it will save time, but it will also save like in this company, it will also include some DJs, florists, decorators. So that way, having to go through all the stress and trying to figure out, oh, which company should we go to, or which companies should be fined, who can do all these things. It would just be nice to just have that one company that can cover all of that.
And then the final idea that we landed on was the idea of AI-powered glasses and or hearing aids. Our target market would be those who are hearing impaired and glasses users. And as technology continues to shrink, we believe that we can implement technology in devices small enough, such as glasses and hearing aids, that we could implement like a generative AI. And this can allow those users to act as a personal assistant easily through their device. And also another use case that we could see this technology being used in is in environments that are loud, such as factory workers and construction, the ability to adjust those levels as to not damage anyone's hearing. So thank you. This is team number 5. Thank you for watching, and we're open to any feedback.